Hello, everybody, and welcome back to, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but I think this might be the 70th episode of the Nobody Asked For This podcast. Let me just double check. You think I would know? Okay. Oh my gosh, it's happening. This is the 70th episode of the Nobody Asked For This podcast. We are basically... we're almost 3/4 of the way to 100. Now, what happens when we get to 100, I don't know. 25 episodes, that's like what? How many months is 25 weeks? That's like 6 months-ish, give or take. Give or take half a year. So yeah, I guess I'm not really holding my breath on that. I guess so. I think we'll reach 100 episodes in about What Q would that be? Like Q2 of 2024? We are now entering Q4 of 2023. So that's, that's something. I just finished an Uncrustable. I'm pretty sure I've talked about it on here before, but for anyone that doesn't know, an Uncrustable is a peanut butter and jelly sandwich that does not have the crust, hence Uncrustable. And you buy them in the frozen section of the food department. And I think the idea is you let them thaw and then you eat them, or like you put them in your kid's lunch. Okay, actually, what is really smart, I don't know if this is the point, but like you could put it in your kid's lunch with like a cheese string, and then it can act as the thing that will keep the cheese string cold, and then it'll thaw, and then they have like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich that is already thawed that you did not make. And you got to keep their cheese string cold at the same time. And third thing, you don't have to make sure that your kid puts the ice pack back in the freezer, which I don't have children. I guess that's not obvious, but I don't have kids. But I was a kid, still am, and I would almost never remember to put my little ice pack thing back in the freezer. So I could really only have any sort of like a cold, a kneading cold type of food once a week, because it would take me about a full week to get it back into the freezer. Although, okay, here's the thing. Food has been around for decades, for millennia, for centurium, for centaurs. And what's confusing to me is like, how long has the fridge been a thing? Because I feel like I took a brief class on the Industrial Revolution, and I feel like that food has been a thing for far longer than the fridge has been a thing. So it's like, what the hell were people doing before they had a fridge? And then at what point did like the Food and Drug Administration people come in and say like, no, at restaurants you need to be, you need to refrigerate things. It needs to be between this degrees. Like, this is safe to eat. This is not safe to eat. Like, basically all the things, like even the meat thermometer, which I use religiously if I even feel brave enough to cook meat, because I'm always scared of getting salmonella. That's like, I'm not trying to go out like that. But let me Google. I guess it's two questions. When was the fridge invented? When was the fridge invented? My apologies. I'm kind of in the vicinity of a guitar, and for whatever reason, it's like my voice is like bouncing off the strings, and it's giving me a migraine. But I'm not gonna do anything to fix it, because I feel like it's like motivation for, making sure I'm putting on a really good show. When was the fridge invented? The fridge was invented in 1913. Okay, next question. When was food invented? Let's see. Our earliest ancestors started by simply adding heat to meats, seeds, and vegetables as early as 1.5 million years ago. Okay, so let's do the quick math. 1913. It is 2023. So 2023 minus 1913 is 110 years. We are living in the 110th anniversary of the fridge. That's so exciting. And we're also living in the, what's 2023 minus 1.5 million? Let's see. 2023, let me ask my calculator. 2023 minus 1.5, no, that's too many. 1.5 million. Okay. So approximately 14 million BC was food invented. So if we're doing the math, 1497,977 minus 100. Right, so roughly 1.48 million years before. From the start of food, they had to wait almost 1.5 million years to have the fridge. So what did they do before then? That leads us to our third question. What did people do? I'm really glad we're sorting this all out. What did people do before the fridge? I'm really interested. Refrigeration without electricity. This is from whirlpool.com, which I believe Whirlpool, aren't they trying to sell you like dishwashers? What's a dishwasher for your clothes? Yeah, no, they're like an appliance store. That's so nice that they're providing this information. Refrigeration without electricity. If ice or snow wasn't an option, underwater or underground storage like cold cellars provided refrigeration. People also began building their own ice boxes for cold storage using chunks of ice or snow in boxes insulated with natural materials like sawdust or seaweed. Okay, quick question. I don't know that much about seaweed, but is there a version of events where you live in a climate where there's both ice and accessible seaweed? I don't know. Also, how did you freeze stuff before? Would you just dig a pit? How people kept stuff cold before refrigeration? A cave or a pit you dig, or an ice house? I also feel like, if we're just being honest, people probably just got a lot more diarrhea back then. Which, if this is before the time of plumbing, you just kind of talk about digging a hole. I feel like that's how you went to the bathroom, no? Hole in a leaf. How did humans survive without refrigeration? Community cooling houses were an integral part of many villages to keep meat, fruit, and vegetables stored. This is all fascinating stuff. Honestly, leave it to me to be asking the tough questions. Okay, this guitar is driving me nuts. You probably can't hear it, but I can. Oh, I'm just gonna put my foot on the thing so it mutes it. Many of you probably don't know this because I don't talk about it at all, but I can actually sort of play the guitar. Not fully. I can't do notes. I can't do I used to be able to play Ode to Joy. I don't know if anyone's familiar with that, but it's da 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 da. It's that one. Da 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 da. It doesn't sound quite as joyful or much of an ode to anything, but that's what I was playing. It's basically the hot cross buns of the guitar. Do you know how they make you play recorder in grade 3 for whatever reason? I don't know what that's supposed to teach you, but it's a fun sort of exercise. And you go to recorder class, and you had to buy a recorder that year. It was part of the whatever it's called, the school supply pack. You get a recorder. It's pencils, binders, and a recorder. Which, funnily enough, is the same list of things that are in the junk drawer of my nightside table. Pens, binders, and a recorder. Regardless, the first thing you learned, day 1, minute 1 of recorder class, which I don't know, I assume this was a universal thing. I don't think it was just my school, but the first thing you learned was how to play Ode to Joy. That's what I'm going to Google next. Why did they make you learn recorder? Why were we taught the recorder? I also would like to know why we were taught handwriting. Like cursive, but I don't think they taught that anymore. Why every kid in America learns to play the recorder. Okay, so it's an American thing as well. This is on the website Atlas Obscura. All across America for decades, a strange cultural ritual has been enacted. Students at the end of elementary school are herded into rooms and handed a simple, hard white plastic instrument called the recorder that seems pathologically incapable of creating any complex music. Right, but why? The recorder is very old, almost as old as notated Western music. Something about England. Are there, like, professional recorder players? Like, is anyone like, I rock at the recorder and that's how I make my millions? Because if so, are you hiring? I feel like I would crush being a recorder player. Not to brag, but I feel like I could really do it. Let me see here. The recorder is a very direct instrument. The sounds come not from the vibration of any other material, but from the construction of the breath. Yikes. I remember my recorder smelled. You know what's really confusing? Actually, confusing is not the word. Concerning was the word I was looking for. I played, not the recorder, but I played the recorder when I was in elementary school, and then the second that class was done, I never picked it up again, but I played the clarinet for about from grade 6 to grade 12. Only for school. And when I say I played, I mean like I showed up to band class. Like I did no practicing whatsoever outside of the band classes. And if we're being completely honest, like was there air going through my instrument? I'm not exactly sure. Like sometimes there was, but like it was a lot of like just doing the hand sort of signals. And crossing my fingers. Okay, I'm going to be really honest with you. I strive for transparency on this podcast. Since you last heard me speak, about an hour has passed. And no, don't worry, I didn't accidentally turn off the recording. And I was just talking into thin air for an hour, which surprisingly has not happened. I'm always waiting for the day where I don't realize that the microphone's not connected, or I think that I hit record and I didn't, but that hasn't happened yet. Again, very surprisingly. Now, I think the reason why that is the case is because, as I've talked about before, I don't really use any actual podcasting equipment or anything like that. It's just my phone, so it's a lot harder to not plug in the microphone when there's no microphone to be plugged in. Now, don't let that fool you. I am speaking into a microphone. Excuse me, that is not a joke. I am fully speaking into an unplugged microphone that I believe I got from Amazon. I think it was mid-pandemic I got this. I guess really, now that I think back on it, early pandemic. There really are seasons of the pandemic. The first season was obviously when the NBA shut down and Tom Hanks got COVID. That was season 1. Where everyone was doing TikTok dances and starting sourdough, which I still haven't done. I can proudly say I never fell into that pattern. It was the 2 weeks to flatten the curve time. So that, I want to say, that season I would say lasted until the summer. And then that summer, it was a little bit you could kind of get out. And then that fall, it kind of came back and we were no longer out. So that's even right there, that's 3 seasons. And then I want to say, honestly, I'm going to be completely real with you. I don't remember 2021. 2022, I believe that's when Omicron happened. I think 2021 was the year of Delta and Delta Plus. So that's another a 4th season, at least. And then 2022 was the Omicron. And then I actually, me personally, got COVID in April of 2022. Just breaking my silence on that. I don't know whom or whomst I got it from. I did nothing to, like, I didn't do anything differently. I was just going to work and Zoom school. No, I might have even been graduated at that point. Like, I can't say, like, I went to a rave and then contracted COVID. Like, I don't know what happened. Like, I was just doing what I had been doing for the past 2 years anyway. And then since then, there's been obviously waves. I fear, I don't want to speak it into existence. I think it's coming back. That was me knocking on wood. But all of this to say, since I last picked up this episode, since the part of me talking about the recorder and how my clarinet, like I wasn't actually playing. Oh, I think I was trying to make a point with that. We'll get back to it. But since I started that section of that season of this episode of the Nobody Asked for This podcast, I have written 2 emails. I have cracked open a fresh Zevia, which is a stevia-infused soda. I guess it's not infused. Instead of sugar, they use stevia, which, can I just say, I bought, I think it's either an 18 or a 24 pack from Costco at least a month ago, and I just opened the last one. So this is the end of my Zevia time, because I believe it is no longer on sale at Costco, which means I will no longer be participating. But don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened. That's how I choose to look at it. So I've done that. I opened a Zevia. And fully put coolant into a car. That's not even a joke. I did that since 4 minutes ago for you, but an hour ago for me. So yeah. What I was saying about my clarinet is I played it again for, I think, 7 years. Played, obviously, I use that term fast and loose. I did not really play, but I certainly never practiced, which I would say, apologies to my teachers, my band teachers, but I mean, I can't imagine, it's like a shock, like they could obviously tell like I wasn't getting any better. Although, to be fair, that's kind of my personality, not getting better. And I don't even mean that in like a negative way or like a concerning way. I just feel like there's nothing that I'm particularly great at, but there's like a decent amount of things that I'm like mediocre at. And I think I accept that fate, I think it's not the worst thing in the world to be like decent at a lot of stuff as opposed to like great at like 2 or 3 things or even one thing, because then you're putting all your eggs in one basket. My eggs are so spread out. I have so many different baskets at any given time that it's like, okay, I could realistically, you could throw me in any situation and I feel like I could figure out a version of, if not success, like survival. So yeah, I don't know why I felt like I wanted to tell people that, but I did. I have lots of eggs in lots of baskets. Anyway, so I put coolant in a car, and then I restarted this episode, and we are only 18 minutes and 35 seconds in. I better talk quickly, because this episode is due, technically, my self-imposed deadline, in about 2 hours and 9 minutes. I think I appreciate part of the reason why I've continued to do this podcast amongst no fanfare. No one asked me to do it. Literally nobody asked for this. I don't even have, like, people that I know that listen to this. Like, people, like, no one listens to this. Like, at all. Just this guitar that keeps making echo noises that hurts my ears. I don't know if I'm explaining that right. Like, have you ever been in a quiet room with a guitar? Which will be the name of this episode. I'm actually going to write that down now. In a quiet room with a guitar. In a quiet room with a guitar. Title case, I always mess it up. I don't know what letters are supposed to be capitalized. I don't know if it's like a capital A, not a capital A. But anyway, back to the guitar. I don't know that I'm explaining this correctly. Like, do you know when you're next to an instrument and just the vibration, the vibrato of your own voice makes it, like, sets it off? I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. What I can tell you is we are in the month of the spooks, which means it is time to watch scary movies. If anyone has a scary movie that they would like to recommend, and again, I know I just said that no one listens to this, which is a fact, so there's really no one who's going to recommend anything for me, but just thought I would talk like I had listeners there for a second. I also have a, just sort of like a personal update. I have been known, just within my local community, to love candy corn. I've been a strong defender of candy corn. I feel like people hate it for no reason. It literally just tastes like sugar. Like, what's to hate about that? But for some reason, in the last 6 months, which to a regular person, it's like candy corn does not affect them in February. But for me, I like to have some sort of a supply, as often as possible. Which, speaking of a supply as often as possible, I just saw my first carton of eggnog in the grocery store last week, which means it's happening. Like, it's time. But not to get too far ahead of ourselves in terms of season, I would just like to say that the last couple of times I've had candy corn, it just hasn't done much. Like, I think I overdid it. Like, last year, I bought so much candy corn. I bought was it a 4-pound bag or like a 2-pound bag? Let me check. Let me pull up the Amazon. It was about a year ago. Let's see. How far back would the orders go? Oh, here we go. And we're going to need a bit more than the past 30 days. Let's see here. I really don't buy too much from Amazon. I'm not that much of an Amazonian. Let me see. Okay, yes, October 4th. I bought a, drumroll please, not even, 900 gram bags. What is that, 2 pounds? That's almost exactly 2 pounds, okay, of candy corn. And I ate that extremely quickly, if I do say so myself. Actually, this could be a fun activity. Let's go through my 2022 Amazon purchases. I feel like I don't purchase things like that much. Okay. First purchase, January 28th, Audible Premium Plus plan. I didn't know I had that. I hope this is not a recurring theme. Okay, January 31st, Kindle Unlimited subscription. Didn't know I had that. Can I get a refund? February 12th, 2022, Mike's Hot Honey Extra Hot. Okay, I'm going to be completely honest. Loved the idea of it, but realized I didn't have much. I wasn't really eating stuff in which you needed Mike's Hot Honey, but maybe I'll find a use for it. Okay, February 28th, Audible Premium Plus plan. How much was this? Okay, $16.74. How many Audible credits do I have? Okay, March 1st, Kindle Unlimited subscription. Didn't know I had that. March 22nd, I got a silicone phone case. It says for an iPhone 12. I don't own an iPhone 12. It's a little bit confusing. Oh, wait. No, this isn't mine. Maybe this was a gift. Let's see. Huh. Interesting. Okay. Screen protector for said phone. March 28th, Audible Premium Plus. Isn't that a cracker? Premium Plus? April 1st, Kindle Unlimited. What? I don't think I've read a single book on Kindle Unlimited. Okay, April 15th. This is a fun one. Trader Joe's Chili Lime and Everything But the Bagel Seasoning. Now, in my defense, I this was during a period where I could not freely go to Trader Joe's on my own free will and passport. Not because anything I did, just because the borders were closed or like were just at that point opening. Okay, April 28th, Audible Premium Plus. This is making me sad. May 1st, Kindle Unlimited subscription. This is like kind of brutal. Was I reading? Okay, maybe I was using the Kindle one. I'm not sure. This is where things get sad. May 12th, 2022. Mark it in your calendars. This is the day that I bought the infamous podcast equipment. I bought 2 sets of a USB microphone that had multiple mic stands, 2 different types of filters. The filter is the thing that goes over top the microphone so you don't sound like poppy. Excuse me. I'm going to leave that in. See, but if I had a filter on it, it would be even smoother. So it was a pretty sizable set. It's currently unavailable, which is good, because that means I won't be able to order it again, even if I wanted to. I don't think it was more than $50. And I can't live in a world where I was paying all of these Audible subscriptions and paid more than $50 for a microphone. I was a big spender. Okay, next I got Dune, the classic book on Audible. June 1st, Kindle Unlimited subscription, but it appears that I gave up on the Audible, which is good. July 1st, Kindle Unlimited subscription. August 11th, I bought a SodaStream, just like the, not the jugs, not an actual SodaStream, but I bought whatever it's called, I'm literally staring at the title. It is called the SodaStream 1 liter carbonating bottles. Carbonation bottles. August 13th, I bought some masks. August 13th again, I bought a USB charger. I would have thought I would have had better recollection of what these things were. Of what all I ordered. Okay. October 1st, so we're getting about a year away, I ordered a car window mount. See, don't buy this one that I bought because it was really bad. I don't think it even worked. Oh wait, no, sorry. This one worked. Another one I tried to buy didn't work. Yes, he purchased 2 times, but it's like if you're purchasing it 2 times, how good is it really? I don't know. Okay, and then October 4th, infamous candy corn, a classic. October 8th, I bought oven thermometers. Now this was a specific get because I was making sweet potato pie for Thanksgiving last year. That actually did turn out, but I wanted to make sure that if it didn't turn out, it wasn't going to be because I set the oven to the wrong temperature. Because for whatever reason, you can set a temperature on my oven and you think numbers are as exact as it can get, but no, my oven just decides whatever it wants to do. So I had to make sure I had to bring in a third party source to verify that the information was all correct. Okay, then we took a break. I apparently bought some sort of a SIM card and then returned it. I don't know about that. November 6th, I bought wheel locks. Who knew? And then November 25th, I bought Apple Watch things. I do not have an Apple Watch. I believe this was a gift. Okay, December 15th, I panic bought a Stanley Cup as a Christmas present, which I believe made the price a lot higher than it would have been had it not been a panic buy. But, things happen. And then December 15th, I ordered a Michael Bublé Christmas CD because why not? Also, a little bit late in the season to be ordering a Christmas CD, but on the bright side, I'll have it all of this season. What I will not have is the money that I spent on Audible and Kindle, because apparently I could have just saved that money and bought Amazon, because I was spending, I don't even want to know, I can't look into it. I really have to, I have to not do that. I gotta look at my credit. That would be even the even better one. Looking at my credit card statement. Yikes. Okay, before this goes any further, I'm gonna cut it off here, and say thank you so much. If you took any amount of your time to listen to this, I really appreciate it. If you want to hear more, you go to podcast nobody asked for this.podbean.com, or you go to Apple, Spotify. You're gonna click in Nobody Asked for This podcast, and we are the one. I'm sure there's like a thousands of other podcasts that have the same idea for a name as me, but we're the one by Procrastination Incorporated, if that helps you find it. The logo is a microphone with a big slash through the middle. I did that artwork myself, not to brag. Maybe we'll update it one day. Probably won't. But yeah, we're also on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I think that's all. But yeah, I really appreciate it. I hope you have a great week. And again, I know no one listens to this, and especially no one is listening to the end. But I can dream, can't I? Bye.